Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Back again to the FPL Duo. We're back for transfer tips again. So obviously, we just went live on the Knee Jerk Live reaction stream. That was a good stream. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you do watch it back. But this is a transfer tips video that we usually do on a Tuesday evening, but because of the deadline, we've had to move it forward to now. So it is the buy, sell, hold, ignore series for game week 33, where we recommend you players that you should be looking to buy, sell, hold, and ignore. But yeah, let's get started. We don't want to waste too much time. Let's bring up the first player that we recommend you fellow managers look to buy for game week 33. Now, first up on the list is fairly an obvious one. If you don't have him, you probably should be looking to bring him in, and that is Erling Haaland. Now, Haaland, 28 appearances, 32 goals, 5 assists. We've said, what more can we say about Haaland? We're running out of words really to describe this guy. He's been a machine all season. Expected goals per 90 is a ridiculous 0.91. So he's essentially scoring, a goal a game. He's got Arsenal next in game week 33. There's a few managers that have gone without Haaland since game week 29, which hasn't paid off at all. He's got Arsenal next. If you're one of those managers that's thinking, it could be a tough fixture, I'd bring Haaland in, honestly. I could see Haaland getting a couple of goals against Arsenal at home. It's a big game. We know Haaland likes to turn up in these moments. So I'd be worried if I don't own Haaland. And I'm going to captain Haaland against Arsenal. I wouldn't let the fixture worry me personally. I'll obviously get your thoughts on it, Jordan, if you're going to captain Haaland. But yeah, for me, he's going to be captain against Arsenal. Then he's got a nice double game week in 34 against Fulham and West Ham, which looks very nice. Then he's got Leeds in a single game week against in game week 35. He's got Everton in game week 36, and then he's got yet another double in game week 37. So yeah, look, Haaland, you want him in your team, especially for that double. And I don't think Arsenal is that bad of a fixture, especially with the way Man City are playing now. I'll be surprised if Haaland doesn't score in that game. And Haaland is actually, trying to break a record. So Haaland is currently tied with Mo Salah for the most goals in a 38-game Premier League season with 32. So the next goal Haaland scores will make him the highest goal scorer ever in a 38-game Premier League season. So it's a big one to... the next goal is going to be big for Haaland. And can he get it against Arsenal? I think he can. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Haaland anyway, Jordan, about bringing him in? Also in game week 33, will you be captaining him, etc.? What'd you take on it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be easy captain pick for this week. The run that Man City run, the last time, obviously, they lost was to Spurs in game week 22. Whereas on the other hand, you've got Arsenal, who come off of 3 draws and are a bit nervous. So I think this, by minority, you would also obviously pick Haaland with the season he's had as well. I think it's obviously a no-brainer, despite the fixture. I think this is going to be important for Man City, and this might be the potential of title stealer if Man City are to win against Arsenal at home.
Yep, I agree. So Haaland is a buy. He's first up. Moving on to the second buy of the game week for us, and one we recommend. One I'm looking at bringing in, and that is Mo Salah. Now, Salah has 31 appearances so far this season, one off the bench. He has 16 goals and 7 assists. And I was actually talking to Jordan off the stream. Salah is the second highest scoring midfielder in the game, 2 points behind Martinelli. So essentially, he's still up there in terms of getting points. Obviously, he picks up a lot of bonus points as well. So yeah, second highest scoring midfielder. He's got pretty decent fixture, I still think. I know there's some greys in there, but West Ham away. I know West Ham have picked up some form, winning 4-0, but Liverpool have also picked up a bit of form, if we're being honest. They put 6 past Leeds. They put 3 past 3 past Nottingham Forest. So Liverpool are scoring goals again. They may not look great at their best defensively, but you don't know what you're going to get with Liverpool. I still think they could go smash West Ham, but they could go and draw to West Ham. So I still think Salah's a buy, especially for that double game week 34, 2 home fixtures. We know Liverpool are a lot stronger at home, and the 2 home fixtures does give me slight comfort about bringing Salah in. And then again, 35, nice single game week, Brentford at home, Leicester away, and then Villa at home as well at Anfield. So yeah, I like Salah for the run-in to the end of the season now, to be fair. I probably own Salah. So yeah, 16 goals, 7 assists. He is quite expensive, 12.9%, but his ownership is, I expect it to skyrocket. And yeah, he should get me some returns, hopefully, in the coming weeks. What's your thoughts on it, Jordan? Salah, Liverpool?
Yeah, with Liverpool, they seem to be bouncing back from what feels like a bit of an on and off season for them. Obviously, we've suffered from injuries and etc. But for the moment, I think Salah looks like a decent buy, considering they got a double as well. Liverpool in 34 against Tottenham, who do come off with a 6-1 loss against Newcastle, which even looks more better for bringing a player like Salah in. And then they got Fulham at home next, so 2 home fixtures in the double. And again, Fulham are without Mitrovic as well, who look like they are struggling. So Salah is effectively against 2 struggling teams at home at Anfield, which you will say is probably the looking good if you are considering buying Salah for that double, because I can feel like he is going to get a decent return, obviously, in that double. And even the fixtures before and after that, Liverpool look like they can potentially go on. Maybe, well, it's a long shot, but clutch the top 4 place and maybe make it to Champions League. But that's a bit uncertain at this moment in time. But yeah, I think Salah's a decent buy, considering with the Liverpool double. And he is expensive, but I think he's worth the money considering the form he has brought back.
Yeah, obviously we'll come on to team selection and stuff tomorrow, but I am considering Salah this week as well. Moving on to some players that we think you should be looking to sell, and the first one up we've put on our list is Saka. Obviously mainly me that's put Saka on this list. Obviously Jordan's going to hold him, I think, this week, but for me Saka is a sell, purely because I don't think he's a bad pick. He got 13 goals and 11 assists so far this season, so he's having a good season. But I look at fixtures again. You look at the next 5. Man City away is a very tough game. You expect Arsenal to lose that game. Then he's got Chelsea, where he could score against Chelsea, but it could be a low-scoring game. I don't see Chelsea conceding 3-4 goals to Arsenal. It could be the odd goal that wins it. Newcastle again away. Newcastle are very strong at St. James Park, and that could be another banana skin game for Arsenal where they may potentially drop points. Then they've got Brighton. We know Brighton are playing well this season so far. So when I look at the next 5, I'm not keen on that next 4 fixtures for Arsenal. Yes, Saka could score in those games, but again, would you rather not have a Rashford who doubles in 34? Grealish doubles in 34. Salah, Jota, Gakpo. There's loads of other players that double in 34 when he's got Chelsea. And either side of the games, the single game weeks aren't the greatest either when we take it back to Salah. When Salah's got Brentford and Leicester in 35 and 36, and Saka has Newcastle and Brighton. So even the single game with fixtures, I'm not too fond of. Saka hasn't been playing at his optimal level as well in recent weeks, even though he did score. So look, for me, it's a sell. His ownership is quite high, though, at nearly 40%, but I do expect it to drop down a bit. But yeah, I know you're holding him, Jordan. But it's more because you're on the wild card, aren't you? But you see where I'm coming from, the angle. The next 4 don't look the best on paper.
No, the fixtures obviously are tough for Arsenal in the next 4. I think it is make or break, though, for Arsenal, whether what happens against Man City. I think if they win against Man City somehow and go on to obviously get the 3 points from them, I think that will give them the confidence, which at the moment they seem to not have. They're a bit nervous, coming off 3 draws, especially the last draw against West
Southampton.
Ham. Southampton, sorry. Yeah, against struggling Southampton at the bottom of the table. Pretty nervous for them, I think, in that game, considering how close they are to win the title and obviously how many games are left. I think if they go on to win against Man City, that might bring them that confidence that they need to go forward and win these matches after Man City, like Chelsea at home. We know Chelsea have struggled. They haven't really scored. I find it hard to score. They don't really have a goal scorer. Whereas Arsenal, you can number like 3 or 4 goal scorers in their team. And that's a home fixture. So they should be comfortable with that. And obviously Newcastle will be tough away. Brighton at home, home fixture for Arsenal is in their favour. Nottingham Forest then 37, probably a more comfortable fixture out of all those before it. But I think, Saka for me, obviously he's a hold for me personally. But Saka can be a sell as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just for the sake of this video, he has been sold quite a bit.
Yeah, I think some managers have got rid, but he's on penalties, I guess. Positive.
Yeah, he's still on penalty. So yeah, it depends what you want to do. But yeah, Saka is a sell, considering obviously the form. Arsenal have been on the 3 matches, and obviously Saka's dropped off of that form as well.
But yeah, um, so Saka is a sell for us or for me. Jordan obviously is going to have him in the wild card. But look, next up is Harry Kane, who we've also put down as a sell. Now, we've also spoke about Harry Kane a lot this season, that no matter what happens in games, he managed to somehow score goals. And that will probably be the case in the next 5 games. He'll probably still score, but Spurs will probably end up losing like 3 of those 5 games. He's on 24 goals, which is very impressive. I still think in a poor, struggling Spurs side to score that many goals, I still think is a very good achievement from Harry Kane so far. He could hit 30 goals for the season, which will be really good considering, Haaland is on 32. It's not far behind. But look, fixtures, Man United at home. Man United, I don't see Man United conceding that many goals to Spurs, if I'm being honest. I think it will be a tight one. Maybe Man United nick it 2-1. Liverpool and 34. Harry Kane could score against Liverpool, don't get me wrong. He's also on penalties, which we know is a key factor. But again, I don't see him having a massive hauler. And you're not going to captain Harry Kane, are you, really, in the next 2 games? And it comes down to whether you want Kane in 34 when he's got Liverpool, or do you want a Salah, or do you want a KDB? Do you want a Bruno? There's other premiums out there that double where where Kane takes up that money, where that could be spread across other players that you probably want long term, and that double. So that's the reasoning behind selling Harry Kane. He takes up a lot of money. He could be used as a cash cow. Sell him and then get KDB or Salah, whoever you want, or even Bruno if he's fit. And then 35, 36, look, the fixtures are better, but maybe you could consider bringing him in later down the line. But yeah, he just too expensive if you want to fit in the other premiums, I think. Obviously, I'm going Salah. Jordan looks like he's going KDB. And the only way to fund it is probably getting rid of Kane. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Even though Kane has had a great season, despite Tottenham not having the best season, he has been annoying in terms of scoring in even poor games like Newcastle, where they lost 6-1. And Kane only being the goal scorer in that one. I think because of the single game fixtures as well, like in Gameweek 34, for example, where Kane has Liverpool away, you could potentially bring in a double like Rashford or Bruno, or someone that does double on 34 like KDB, like I have. And effectively you get one more fixture out of a player, even though Kane has Liverpool and could potentially score. I think there's more upside in bringing in a doubler for that one. Even if 36, where he has Aston Villa away, Newcastle do double in 36 amongst other teams. I know double in 37 as well, where Kane has Aston Villa and then Brentford at home. Again, these are fixtures where Kane only has single ones, and whereas the other players have double, and obviously he is a lot of money too. So selling Kane will make you save up money for these double gaming players coming up to the end of the season.
Yeah, just to add on 36, he's got Villa, and then someone like Isak has a double. So you might want Isak in 36 ahead of Kane as well. But yeah, look, Kane is still a good pick. Like, he just seems to score still. But yeah, probably a sell for us. Moving on to some players that we think you could be looking to hold on to. And the first one up is Tony. Now, Brentford have actually played 32 games now. So Tony's yellow card suspension tightrope is gone. He now needs 15 yellow cards before he's suspended for 2 games. So for those that was worried about the yellow card thing, he got wiped after 32 games. Obviously, Brentford have now played 32 matches. So for those that are worried about that, that is now gone. Tony will not miss any more games in terms of suspensions, unless he gets a red card, obviously. But you take a look at the fixtures, he still would be a hold for us, I think, if you have him, because he's got Chelsea away next. See that we can still see him scoring in that game. He's on penalties as well. He's got 19 goals for the season already, so he's doing really well as well. 3rd top scorer in the Premier League, just behind Harry Kane. Nottingham Forest in 34 is a decent single game week fixture. The only way I'd consider selling Tony is probably if you need the money to get other players. But I don't think his fixtures are that bad, and his goal return that shows that 19 goals. He's still a good pick, and he will carry a bit like Harry Kane, where he'll just plod along and get goals. So, will I sell Tony? I may potentially sell Tony because I need the money to bring Salah in. So I'll take the money out of Tony to bet Salah. But if you don't want Salah, potentially, You may not. Tony's still a good hold, I think. Because I still see Tony scoring goals in these next couple games. Even against Liverpool, I can see him scoring. So for me, in that sense, he's still a hold. I think he's a good pick. What's your thoughts, Jordan?
Yeah, I think as a Tony owner as well, I think he's definitely a hold. He seems to find a way, Tony, to score uh, in games, and he continues to keep doing that run of goals, even though he may blank here and there. He's still a consistent returner. He's not like a blank kind of player where he will go without a return within 4 game weeks. I think he's a player that consistently returns goals, as he has returned 19 so far this season. He's been one of the greatest forwards to have in this season as well. And with his run of fixtures, not too bad for a single game week player. I mean, for Chelsea, that's pretty not much of a red really. And game week 34, Nottingham Forest and Liverpool, tougher fixture, but it could be one that Tony scores in. Then 36 to 37, 2 home fixtures, West Ham and then Tottenham at home. So long term, Tony could be a decent hold for a single game week player in that kind of price bracket of 7.7 million. And his ownership is effectively still high, even though he was transferred out a lot, surprisingly. But yeah, I think for me, he's definitely a hold long term and potentially till the end of the season if you choose to.
Moving on to another hold, and that is Ollie Watkins. Now, he's been transferred out by quite a few managers as well, which may come as a surprise, but 30 appearances and 14 goals and 6 assists. A lot of those goals have actually come in recent weeks. And yeah, Watkins, he's been on fire recently as well, as we know. Obviously, he did blank in the last game week, but that was coming off the back of many returns in a row. He's got Fulham at home next, which is a nice fixture on paper for him. 34, okay, he's not got a double, and he's got Man United away, which is a tough game for Aston Villa. They're in good form, so you never know. Wolves as well, 35 looks like a good game. Tottenham and then Liverpool. So their fixtures aren't the greatest. Man United, Tottenham and Liverpool in the next 5. But Watkins is on fire. And one thing I've learned this season is sometimes if a player is in form, you don't want to transfer them out really, because that's some mistake I've probably made this season where I should go with the form more, which I maybe haven't this season. And when a player's in form, they can still do well. So yeah, that's the theory behind holding Watkins. It's more that the form is so good that we can see him scoring in those games, even though on paper the fixtures aren't great. But he's 7.7 million. I know people would want to bring in other attacking players in 34 that double, potentially even Jota now, who we spoke about quite a bit. But what's your thoughts on Watkins, Jordan, as a hold in the next 5?
Well, yeah, for another single game week player that has no doubles, I think Watkins as well is a decent hold. Ever since Emery has come to Aston Villa, he's completely rejuvenated the whole team. He's made it such a way where we wouldn't even recognise Aston Villa before he came to the Premier League. And I think with Watkins, he's transformed into quite a decent player now for FPL. And with 14 goals this season and 6 assists, it's quite good for Watkins. And it's probably one of his best seasons he's had for Aston Villa. And I think, yeah, for a hold for the fixtures he has upcoming, even though he did blank in the last one, he was on a massive run of returns. And I don't think we have to be rational about selling Watkins just because he's had one blank out of like 8 or 9 returns he's had. So I think for now, you can probably keep Watkins, see what he can do in his upcoming fixtures. Obviously, there was a mixture of hard and easy ones for him, but yeah, I think for now you can hold on to Watkins and see how he progresses through the rest of the season.
Yeah, at least hold him for Fulham, I think, and then see make your mind up for 34. Maybe remove him against Man United. Moving on to some players that we think you could be ignoring, and the first one on the list is actually Ben White. Now, Ben White's on the list. Obviously, Arsenal defender. He's priced at 5 million. Again, we've spoke about Arsenal's fixtures. We've got Man City away, which I don't see a clean sheet. Chelsea at home, you could see a clean sheet in that one, to be fair. Chelsea are struggling with goals. Newcastle away, we don't see clean sheets in that one, I don't think. Brighton, I expect Brighton to score as well. So if you're looking at it in terms of clean sheets, I don't see many clean sheets for Arsenal in the next four fixtures. I don't see any potentially. Maybe the Chelsea's the only one where they could keep a clean sheet. And yeah, look, Arsenal have conceded about 8 goals in the last 3 games. So the defense without Saliba, with Holding, I don't want to pin it all on Holding, but since Rob Holding has come into the team, he has looked a lot weaker. It's not the same with Saliba in there. So the defense is lacking on it. Tomiyasu's still injured as well. That's another loss for Arsenal. They got Tierney and Zinchenko, who've not been great, especially Zinchenko. Obviously, he started off the season really well, but in the last couple of games, he has been a bit off defensively. So I don't see many clean sheets for Arsenal. And attacking threat, yeah, you could get some returns from Ben White potentially, but I don't think it's worth holding when players like Trent have a double game week. Luke Shaw has a double game week in 34. Estupiñán has a double game week in 34. So yeah, Liverpool, Brighton, Man United, even Man City assets is the way I'd be going in defence ahead of Arsenal right now. What's your thoughts on Arsenal and their chances of a clean sheet in the next 5?
Yeah, I think there's not a high chance that obviously Arsenal keep clean sheets in the next 4, considering the injuries they have as well. And they haven't kept one in the last 3 games because they have drew 3 times. Even though Ben White has shown a bit more attacking, though, he has had 3 assists since those 3 draws. So he is showing more attacking, hence why he may be more transferred in for obviously the assists he is racking up, because he has got 5 now, which seems pretty annoying because we did have Ben White, and then obviously when we got rid of him, he's starting to get assists. But I don't see any clean sheets for Arsenal and Ben White. The only thing I can see from him is maybe an assist, which he is showing to provide more. But I still think for now he is an ignore, because if you want Arsenal assets, we always say you go for the attacking ones like Martinelli, Saka, and Odegaard, or even Jesus.
Yeah, just looking at the stats, Arsenal haven't kept a clean sheet since game week 27. So 5 game weeks in a row, no clean sheet for Arsenal. The last one was a 3-0 win against Fulham in game week 27 when they last kept a clean sheet. So no clean sheets in 5. It could be no clean sheets in 7. Sorry, no clean sheets in 6 after they play Man City. Finally, the final ignore for this game week is Andreas Pereira. He's been transferred in by quite a few of you managers, so we thought we'd chuck him in there as well. He's got 3 goals and 6 assists so far in 30 appearances, so he's actually not been too bad as a cheap 4.4 million option. He's probably the best cheap midfielder in the game. However, he has Aston Villa away in game week 33, which we don't see as an easy fixture now with Aston Villa's uptick in form. Then he's got a very tough double game week, you'd say, against Man City at home and then Liverpool away. So you probably don't see any returns in that. He may get something, you never know, but it is a tough double. And even if you do own him, you probably bench him in that game week anyway, when you've got players like Rashford, Mitoma, Solly March, Bruno, Salah. You'd rather play those midfielders, and he's taken up a valuable midfield slot. So yeah, he's an ignore for me, easy ignore. There's other midfielders that you'd want he's taken up a slot. Grealish has a nice double game week 34. So yeah, for me, he's an easy ignore just because there's other better players with better doubles than him. And then 36 and 37, you could worry about that later if you want to take money at your team again, maybe bring him back in later. But yeah, there's better players in double game week 34 with fixtures, so that's why he's an ignore. Anything else you want to add on it, Jordan?
I think that's pretty much covered really for Andreas. There isn't much really to say more than what we have said about him, because obviously he's a midfielder pick. Obviously, we have a lot of midfielders that we want to choose that obviously have a better double and have more doubles, I think, along the line after 34 as well. But I think if you looked at him early in the season, then yeah, we would obviously have Andreas. But I think now priority is someplace else now for players instead of Andreas.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, let's quickly recap this. So the players that you should be looking to buy ahead of game week 33, Haaland and Mo Salah. You should sell Saka and Kane. You should hold on to Tony and Watkins. And you should ignore Ben White and Andreas Pereira. So those are the 8 players. Let us know in the comments, do you guys agree or disagree? Let us know what you think of our picks. If you are still watching live, or if you're watching on a playback, make sure you do smash the like button, and also make sure you are subscribed for more content. We've got Fatality. Hi guys. Wow, double stream. Yeah, it is a double stream today because of the deadline on Tuesday, so we had to push this forward so we get the content out for you guys. So yeah, make sure you do hit that like button for us. Play Martinelli v Man City or Tony v Chelsea or March v Nottingham Forest. Jordan, I'll let you take this question.
This is It's a tough one because I kind of have to back the Martinelli one because I'm going to play Martinelli against Man City. But I think I would play Tony versus Chelsea, which I am doing as well. But in terms of these choices, fatality, I'll probably play Tony v Chelsea. I think that's probably the best fixture that you can probably ask for in terms of difficulty, because Chelsea can't score, but they do concede a lot of goals against teams.
It's a tough one because I can see Martinelli scoring against Man City, to be fair. Also, I don't expect Arsenal to win the game, but I can see Arsenal scoring. I don't see Man City keeping a clean sheet. My prediction, obviously, will come on to. I probably think Man City win 3-1 or something like that. So you could play Martinelli. Tony against Chelsea is a home fixture, isn't it, for Tony? Just double check.
No,
it's an away fixture. So they're not as good away from home, Brentford. So, and March against Nottingham Forest, it's a tough one. I'd probably still go with Martinelli, if I'm being honest. Even though I expect Arsenal to lose that game, I can still see Martinelli scoring, but Arsenal losing. So maybe Martinelli. But yeah, it's a bit of a tough situation you're in. Either one. Even March against Forest, on paper, he's probably got the best fixture. Nottingham Forest obviously conceded 3 goals to Liverpool this weekend. What do you think about Isak? Yeah, I think Isak is a great player. And I want him in my team probably for double gaming 36 when he doubles in Newcastle. So yeah, he's in my thoughts for gaming 36. But for short term, 33, 34, 35, I don't think I could fit him in when I've got other players that I'd want probably ahead of him. Even a Jota, I think I'd rather have right now because Jota doubled in 34 where Isak doesn't. So, but yeah, Isak definitely an option for me coming in the end of the season. Love your streams. Keep it up, guys. Says Meme Clips. Thank you, Meme Clips.
Thanks,
Meme Clips. That means a lot to us. Make sure you guys are tuned in and subscribed to the channel. Obviously, a lot of content to drop. Not long left to the season ends, but we're always looking to improve the content as well. Next season, we've got a bunch of new plans, changing the graphics. It's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more better as well. So, yeah, a lot to come from us. Kane to Isak transfers are happening. Yeah, I think Kane for us, as we put it, is a sell, for sure. But the only thing that holds me back from bringing Isak in is that he doesn't double in 34. But look, who has he got in 34? Just looking at Newcastle, they play Southampton at home, so it is a really nice fixture for Newcastle at home. But it could pay off. Maybe I've slept on Isak when I should have included him in my free hit team, but I think it could pay off. Get bringing in Isak. It's just I'd rather have a doubler, I think. But there's nothing, if you're bringing Isak in, definitely not a bad decision at all. I think that's it, Jordan. That's back-to-back streams. So probably going to go chill now, have a rest. And then we're back again, I think, tomorrow, aren't we, for another stream?
Yeah, team selection.
Yeah, team selection tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time. So make sure you are locked in for that one. And then Tuesday, another stream because it's the deadline. And then we'll see how it goes after that. We'll keep you guys updated on our Twitter. Make sure you do follow us on Twitter if you haven't yet, guys. The FPL Duo on Twitter. Make sure you check us out on there. If you haven't already, join our mini league B54P68. It's on the top right-hand corner. It's also in the link in the description as well. Make sure you do join the FPL Duo mini league. But yeah, that is it from us, I think, today. Wrap it up. I just want to say a massive thank you to all our new subscribers that have subscribed in the last week. Also, thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed it, as always, drop a like. It means a lot. And yeah, that's it from us. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed your weekend. Some good football results, some interesting football results, to say the least. And yeah, that's it from us. Anything else you want to add, Jordan?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Obviously, our 2 streams tonight. It's been very, very active week and obviously an active day. But yeah, hopefully you've had a great weekend and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for team selection. It's coming fast and very swiftly. Yep,
see you guys tomorrow. That team selection should be a good one. Jordan's on the wild card. I'm going to take a -8 potentially. So, yeah, tune in.